Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday. It's May 24th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and this is going to wrap it up for the week. And Monday is a holiday, so no chart lesson and no mid-morning chart on Monday. So we won't be back again to do it till Tuesday. And also just a reminder that I'll be gone June the 1st through the 10th for my annual trip to Brazil. So I'll probably take off Thursday. So we'll probably only go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll probably only have a chart lesson and mid-morning chart Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before I leave. So just a reminder about that. But interesting day today. It's similar to yesterday, except the trend down earlier was a lot stronger. And then we had a fairly decent trend up. It was a little choppy along the way up, but there were a couple of ways to look at it. You could have seen it as a spike and channel, or you could have just found the actual channel. I believe there's an actual two-tiered channel there, and you can see that midline kind of playing both sides there. So either way, you really still got to the same place, other than maybe this trade here, which I marked aggressive anyway. So if you were playing the brown channel, then maybe it's a little more aggressive because you've already had a break and a new high. But if you're playing the blue channel, we're still headed higher. So it just depends on how you look at it. But we'll talk about it a little more when we get there. But we'll back out and we'll talk about the trade. You had to be a little patient this morning because right around the 7 o'clock hour we were going sideways. Then we had a little breakout. So we're basically looking for a pullback here, and we also get a lower high here. But even right here, we started going sideways a little bit, and you had that little tick higher and turned and went out the other side. You could have already had a sell stop there, but you're probably better off to let this finish and put a sell stop right below this big bearish bar. And if you catch that one trade, you're off to the races today. And it was a fairly nice move down. Early on, you couldn't be sure if it was if this was the channel. But once we kept on going, you just find your equal distance and drop your line down there, and that turns out to be the low. To the notice that we closed right inside that and then bounced off of it right to the tick. But notice that's a new high as well. It's a new swing high, and so you're moving down. And even though we didn't break higher here, that's like a first entry and then a second entry. So you could treat this like a failed second entry long. But either way, it's a lower high that turns down right off the EMA, and it gives you a big bearish bar. Again, it broke higher above a bullish bar and then turns and goes down. So you could have had to stop right there again, or you could have waited till this one closed. A little bit more risk involved if you enter here than it would be up here, but you could have done it either way, and off it goes. And of course we moved that measured amount, so that would have been a perfect play. And you could have also measured this leg and then come over, and you see we went a little further than that. And you could have measured this first leg here and then measured this one, and that's two perfect measured legs. We get another bounce here, but we've already had a break of this trend line and a new low, and we're coming off the low side of the channel, so we're probably going to head back to the other side. So it's a little risky going short in here, and you definitely don't want to go. There's a lower high here, but relatively bullish bar, and you don't want to be going short into that double bottom and after two bounces off the lower side of the channel. There's a failed second entry short here, but we're still way below the EMA, so I'm not going to risk anything there. I'm not going to risk any longs in here because this has been a pretty good move down, and we've really been trending down since 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So you don't want to be risking any longs at this point. And notice we finally get a break here. We try to go higher once. We push through the MA. We try to go higher twice. There's your reversal pattern, the failed second entry long. This is pretty much congestion, so it's a breakout pullback. And notice how we close below the EMA. Nice bearish bar. I like that one. We come back right here, and you get a confirmation of that trend line. It's a first entry, but we're probably going to at least test this low, and we may can just continue trending lower. And it is a third touch of the trend line confirmation. It's off the EMA. Several different things going on here, and it's a nice bearish bar, so I like that one. You get another one here, but that one's too bullish, and you really just never get another break higher after that, and you're getting too far away from the EMA now. Then we bounce. That's a real small bar, but there's no reason to go short there. You're not back to the EMA. If you draw a short-term trend line, you know, there's no break of that short-term trend line. I'd at least wait on a lower high here, and then you pull back and you get a lower high right here and a relatively bearish bar. And that's a second entry short. Notice that low, first entry, second entry. So you may take that one. I wouldn't take anything down here. We actually get an overshoot here, so we could get a reversal now. And notice what happened here. We had all these, we had a bunch of, we really kind of had a congestion here. It doesn't really, it's not side by side perfect, but it's still a little bit of congestion way away from the EMA. And even though we made a little bit lower low there, you could treat that like, and it actually went lower and turned and went out the upper side. I like going long there just to ride it back to the EMA. Again, you're picking a bottom though, so it's a little bit risky, but sometimes those pay off. And guess what? If you catch this one, you get to ride it all the way back to all the way up for the rest of the day, basically. And so that's one of those that's oftentimes worth the risk. Notice how prices then shot up. You pull back, and you bounce right off the EMA. And even though we went a little bit lower here, that's basically a failed second entry short. It's close enough. If it looks the same, it's probably going to act the same. And we're probably headed to the other side. We did go lower here. Again, you got a big bearish bar, so they fooled people that aren't paying attention and don't understand what's going on here. And so that would have been a great place to go long again. And then you had a true failed second entry short for sure, because you got a new low there, and then first entry, second entry, and that's just a little breakout pullback across the EMA. Notice we pushed through that, we pulled back and tested. It's a third touch of that trend line, a confirmation of it. It looked like it was going to be a mistake there for a minute, but then it takes on off. And where does it turn down to the tick? Up here. And we did get a break of this short-term trend line and a new high. If this would have been a little more bearish, I might have given this an aggressive one, but we did have an overshoot down here, so you really want a good signal bar. It would have worked, but it does come back real quickly, and it gives you another touch of the trend line. But it's not, it's basically kind of a neutral to a bullish bar, and then you get a big bearish bar, and so now you got a lot of bars stacking up there. And so I don't think you want to risk going short. It would have worked if you'd have taken that break below that bearish bar, but this is really your signal bar here, and it's too bullish. But then we get the little break lower and a nice bullish reversal, and this one was really tempting. But again, I'd want to see prices push through this and pull back and test it first at a minimum and give me a nice bullish bar. And it does that here, but the bar is not bullish enough. But look what happens. It comes back and gives a double test, and it goes lower first and turns and goes out that upper side. Your smarter traders were waiting on just a little more confirmation and a better signal bar, and look at it go. It rockets off then. They trap some shorts there. So hopefully you didn't think about going short there right into that EMA and right into that support level, right into that trend line that's now acting as resistance. That's what you want to see. Run up to a new high and then pull back. First entry, pull back. A second entry right off the EMA and right off this possible spiking channel, if you were looking at it that way. I like this one even if you don't see the brown channel, no matter how you, regardless of how you saw this one. I like this one because it's a second entry right off the EMA. And if you're playing the blue one, we're not up there yet. If you're playing the brown one, it's bouncing right off the key entry point. So off it goes. Again, you come back, you get another second entry, but look how bearish that bar is. And by the time you could have used this one, even if you're thinking about it, this is still your signal bar, so your stop's got to go down here. So it's just way too big. But notice we do pull back here, Notice what happens. You got a new swing low here. It's lower than that one. So first entry, you move up second entry, and so you get a second entry short. And we got one leg up on the brown one. We're still not back to the high of this one, and if you're playing the blue one, we got a long way to go. So depending on how you played, if you're looking at the blue one, I like this one. If you're looking at the brown one, I'm a little bit more concerned about it because we didn't get back to the high here, and we're not getting back again, so, and we've got a break, so we've already got a new high. So we're fading a little bit. So I probably wouldn't even make it green if you're playing the brown channel. But if you're playing the blue channel and you see the blue channel, then I'd be okay being a little aggressive there. Still aggressive either way. So, and then we just start going sideways. You get a little break here, failed break lower, and that one's tempting, but we're not back to the blue trend line. We've already had a break of the brown one, and if you're playing the blue one, we turn down off the EMA, or I'm sorry, not the EMA, the midline of the blue channel, and we got a break here. So I'd want to wait on second entry, which comes here. But look how neutral that bar is. Just a very neutral bar. But again, it's a failed break lower, and now you got room to get out. You don't really have room to get out here either. That's another concern. Where now you got room to get out. You're better off to wait on this higher low, and we get that here, but then you're right back into that resistance area again, and you don't have much room, so I don't like that one at all. And then now you get a failed break higher, and you get a big bearish bar, and you got enough room to get out before you come back to the low side in the EMA. And you do have a break of the blue too now, so you could just reverse here. So, and being a little bit away from the EMA, I'm probably okay with that one. But again, you're trying to pick tops, and you're better off to wait on a lower high, which comes down here, and that bar's too bullish, and notice how it would have failed on you. So, so really much after 11 o'clock, it got really slow. So, not much happening this afternoon. But there were plenty of trades prior to that, and lots of price action. And it just kind of right here around 11 o'clock or so, it just kind of dried up. Really, just kind of not much happening. So anyway, not a bad day, interesting day. This is where a lot of people get fooled when it reverses. And even if you did get fooled and went short in here, either one of these would have worked. So if you had a little better setup here than what I showed, you might have gone short anyway, and both of them would have worked. And even this one, if you just took that move, that little small bar, it's a little small bar, it's way away from the EMA. But by this time, I'd be really concerned that we may not come back and make a new low after getting this overshoot down here. But again, even if you'd have traded any of those three, if you had a little better setup, they all worked. So you wouldn't have really gone wrong there. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. We won't be back again to do it. We won't be back to do it again until Tuesday, because remember, Monday's a holiday, so trading holiday, but Memorial Day. Hope you have enjoy your long weekend, and we'll be back again to do it Tuesday. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.